Dang it. Flipped it. Weird. That's weird. But see, then it's like, okay, OBS is fitting the screen, that's fine. But it's undoing the flip. Although technically this is correct camera order. I flipped the camera because otherwise it looks like I'm looking away from the screen. Right? Like, see, now it looks like I'm looking at the screen. Like y'all can like my eyes are going that way and you're looking at that thing. So yeah. But technically this is the correct. Welcome to Evil Dojo. I am your host, Dark Mage. I have discovered some unfortunate bugs in my game. It's very upsetting. But it's a good opportunity for us to go back and take a look at everything that already exists, clean things up, try to do better error checking, all that good shit. Let me set a few things up here first. I always have to fucking set the shit on my YouTube every time I do this. I haven't quite figured out the best way to synchronize information because like I have to go back in and do like fucking updates to like the tags, for instance. Like for some reason the tags in YouTube are not being auto applied every time I go to stream. But to be fair too, I also have to manually tweak this depending upon content that I am streaming. So it is what it is. All right, that's updated. Let's maybe I should also share from there too. What's happening, everybody? Chat at me if you're interested in programming LLMs, comparing the various LLMs, upgrading your game, like your work game and your life game. Holler. All right. I can also do this. And we're good. All right, back here. I got the chat open so y'all can chat at me or whatever while I do this shit. Like I said, I've got some unfortunate bugs that I've discovered in my game, right? Let's go over what those bugs are before we actually step through all the code. But as it turns out, we are currently in DeepSeek happy hour. This means that all API requests are currently half off. This is a good time for anyone who's doing experimental research to play around with DeepSeek at the API level, because it's very inexpensive. Like, you can literally throw shit at it all day and you'll probably spend like, less than 10 cents. It's like really good. I can highly recommend, because I haven't even spent 10 cents on it. I think I'm like 8 cents or some shit. Like, for comparison, Claude is very expensive. Claude is like fucking orders of magnitude more expensive at the API level. Wait, what? 1 second. Y'all ready to get started? Let's do some fucking API digging intos, right? I've got a really nice, and I mean really nice, script. One of the problems with the microphone position is this arm gets in the way of my arm when I'm typing, and having something that close to me while I'm typing also fucks up my headspace a little bit. Something I gotta get used to. I'd also try to figure out the microphone settings so it's like I can have it further away and also still have the nice noise filtering, but like, whatever. I got this nice script. You gotta check the script out. Hold up. So we can run it with lots of different LLMs. I've actually got support for Grok, I've got ChatGPT, I've got DeepSeek, and if I were to spin up my own local LLM shit with Llama and whatever, I could also talk to it through that, right? So Nano is very competitively priced against DeepSeek, right? I don't have any figures on my screen. Perhaps I can get them up in post video when I upload this, but I've got numbers on a different location. Maybe I can make a file for this real quick. Hold on. Okay, so check this out. This is a little diagram I made comparing the different price points for the APIs for the different LLMs, right? Starting with 4.0. 4.0 was at, and these numbers mean, so you have your input tokens, right? This is the stuff that you ask it. This is the stuff that you type and send. These are your files that you send. This is the seeding of the initial context, right? The cached input, this is stuff that it's like able to match. This is stuff that like it's able to derive from previously sent stuff. So like if you've sent like a big chain of text once, the second time you send it, it counts as a cache, right? So then you have your output parts per million. And of course, this is everything that the LLM gives you back. We got 4.0. We got here. I'll make this bigger. That's what she said. 250, 125, 10, 4.0. Standard, right? Like this was like the de facto for a long time, and now 4.1's out, and I have to say, 4.1-nano's response time is absolutely fast as fuck. I haven't tried mini and I haven't tried 4.1 yet because they're a little bit pricier. Not that I don't have any money. I've got like $25 on API credits across a lot of these different LLMs for testing, and I've barely cracked 20 cents down here at DeepSeek level, right? I've extensively used deepseek-chat using my script, and it's very good. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with DeepSeek in general, having played with it in the API as much as I have. Not to mention, if you limit your shit to like happy hour, like right now, it's what time is it? Yeah, it's 1922. So DeepSeek happy hour is from 16:30 until 0:30. So we are currently in the middle of DeepSeek happy hour, which will last another 4 hours, which is great. So if you have experiments that you want to do, if you want to play around with DeepSeek, now's a good time. But I have to say, Nano is competitively priced against deepseek-chat during happy hour. You pay a little bit less for input parts per million and a little bit less for cached inputs and a little bit less for output parts per million. That's not anything to shake at. What does that come out to? I mean, I operate at the nanoscale, so if we were to think, if DeepSeek is they're not wanting me to, yeah. The nut, like when I turned when I turned on my keyboard numpad, did it like fucking break the calculator? If we take the price of Nano and figure out, you know, how much cheaper is it than deepseek-chat during happy hour? It's 74% cheaper. If we want to look at it the other way around, deepseek-chat is 35% more expensive than 4.1-nano. We have a new king in town. OpenAI is back. Not that they didn't win everyone over with the fucking Giblify shit, right? Like, we had a lot of fun playing around with that, and every so often I throw shit up there. I think my current Twitter profile. So, just point being, it's like a lot cheaper, but like, you know, talk is cheap. I've gotta fucking get my. I'm a quiet motherfucker, so. Whereas main's very small. This isn't gonna be the best. Oops. Like right out the gate. Logic.c is a much bigger file. This is gonna be one of the first real tests. The response time should still be pretty fast. Yep. Notice that the response time is very fast. I recently implemented streaming responses in order to give that kind of like chat feel. DeepSeek definitely gives it, like it chunks out, but that's probably because their servers are located further away. Maybe. Maybe they're just getting hammered all the time. Who knows exactly why the response times are faster? What's happening, y'all? Hope y'all are having a good day. Thank you for watching. All right, so we're playing around with GPT-4.1-nano. We're currently seeding it with information about my game's code. I asked it to perform a limited analysis on what it has seen so far. Main controls entity movement, tax, and interaction logic, uses dynamic library reloading for draw and logic, supports hot updates. handles entity creation with checks for walkable tiles and entity collisions, manages NPC and player turns, including death and attack states. Debug features include debug panel buffer with real-time game info. Nice. All right, I'm pretty impressed with Nano's speed here, right? Um, all right. The game at the moment plays fine. However, I discovered this bug. If if I have these asserts in, because initially the original thinking was fail quietly and just let the game keep running in case I did something stupid, right? And I'm obviously doing something stupid because these asserts, whenever I go to change direction, like, see, moving right is cool, moving down right's cool, moving down's cool. As soon as I move down left or left, we get a crash. Sprite set context is greater than num context. One is supposed to be less than one. But see, this one, that shouldn't be one. There should be four. So I said to myself, because I'm in the middle of solving this shield bug, perhaps this is related somehow. Question is, if it works with this commented out, how is the context even being set? Functions I didn't need anymore. Oh, wait. No, that's correct. But set context does what I think it's supposed to do, right? Be interesting. There's 4 calls being done to set context. Update sprite context in 977. Real interesting. Why is it calling it so many times? Zero, 1, 2, 3. And I create the sprite group at the beginning. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it's specific. It's specific sprites. Okay, okay. Because notice that the rest of them all load correctly. Which sprites are those? Wait, 18. Oh, how many is this? 18. Yeah. Okay. So four of these have incorrect. Oh, whoops. Texture key context frames. Do dither. Wait. Yeah, context frames. Let's go through all the human stuff. Human, 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 human. Oh, the spin die. Okay. Well, we found the now, to be fair, spin die and soul die both only have one context. All right, we're back in action. good time to add the shield back in and try to overcome that bug now. Yo, what's happening, y'all? We give it Molotovs and inventory rope. We could tie about 5 items to, like, if you use your belt, hold 5 items like a. It's an interesting concept. The engine I'm building kind of has potential for Bomberman style mechanics too. Although Bomberman's real time, but you can imagine placing bombs that explode in 4 directions, kind of like a puzzle type mechanic. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Oh, interesting. Definitely something's getting called wrong there. True, we do have no attack weapon to attack with. All right, so shield's drawing again. It's just not like we're still dealing with the same fucking bug I was dealing with the other day or the last couple days. It would probably take 5 minutes here. Might get a snack or some shit. Dog's been a very good girl, just chilling, relaxing. We're gonna have a new member of the dojo here pretty soon. I am becoming cat dad as well, so I'll be both a dog dad and a cat dad. That'll be fun. I do this for a living, y'all, so if you've got questions about computer science, if you have a project that you're working on and you want a second pair of eyes, if you've got some idea that you want to stub out but you just don't have the time, I'm your guy. Do we want music during the break? Oh, that's loud. Huh. I'm surprised my dog didn't wake up.
I need my motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. Till I got my coffee, I'm the motherfucking top beat. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. As long as I got my coffee, I am the motherfucking top beat. I need my motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. As long as I got my coffee, I am the motherfucking top beat. Motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. As long as I got my coffee, I am the motherfucking top beat. I need my motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. As long as I got my coffee, I am the motherfucking top beat. Motherfucking coffee. I need my motherfucking coffee. I need my motherfucking coffee. Yeah. I need my motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. As long as I got my coffee, I'm the motherfucking coffee. I need my motherfucking coffee. Ain't not a person in the world who can stop me. The corporate world is the devil, I am godly. Till I got my coffee, I'm the motherfucking top beat.
All right, I wasn't gone. Oh well, that's very sweet of you to say, Giovanni. The fact of the matter is, anyone can be like me. I don't know what being like me means in this regard. I guess you're saying I'm skilled, but I appreciate that. Anyone can be skilled though, and everyone's gonna have a different skill cap. Everyone's gonna have a different angle and approach that they come at this shit with. There's nothing that says that you have to follow the mainstream. In fact, most of my programming career, I have found myself actively pushing, for better or worse, but always following my own instincts. And that's the important part, is to develop instinct. In the beginning, you may not have this, but especially in the beginning, you know, like a fact of the matter is, you're going to end up picking up a large number of different tools. You're going to pick up a large number of different things that are all required for building things, right? Like one of the well, now that I've got this really nice setup here, Jesus God, grant me the work to do my best in this place. Inshallah. So, what was I getting at with that? Help me out. Oh yeah, one of the project ideas that I've had is that I want to walk through the history of my computer science journey, all the way back to like 11 years old, which at this point is 28 years ago, which is older than most of the people watching this. Good God. Yeah, 28 years ago, my grandmother acquired a Tandy machine with MS-DOS on it. The friend of hers who gave her the computer had just upgraded to Windows 95. I remember going over to their house and having sleepovers and cruising the internet with my friend after we would he actually got Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1, and I went over to play it with him, and he had no memory card. Oh man, we got pretty far for no memory card too. We got all the way up to the fucking Shinra Tower in one shot. Like, it's not bad. But anyway, that was kind of like one of the really early gateways, because not long after I got that MS-DOS machine, my friend had introduced me to Visual Basic. He had gotten a pirated copy and was playing around with it on his machine. And not long after, we got our own Windows 95 machine, and I began playing around with Visual Basic on that as well. Oh man, those are the early good old days. I didn't know shit back then. I was just flopping around, trying stuff out, trying to understand this whole thing. I didn't understand shit about Windows back then. I still don't understand shit about Windows. I don't fuck with Windows, but I do fuck with C. I fuck with Linux. I think I was in the right direction, but there was so much about programming that I didn't understand. But at least on QBasic, I was able to start working on a text RPG. The problem is I didn't have a lot of the core concepts that I really needed down, like how to write a function, or what a loop was, or what recursion is, or what data structures are. I didn't have any of that shit. I didn't have anyone to guide me. I was deep in the waters with very little keeping me afloat, except my desire not to drown and my love of learning. Like for reference, I had a Super Nintendo growing up, right? And you would think, you got video games, and it's like, why are you going to do anything else? But I only had 5 games. And you say only 5 games. You had 5 games. But I say only because I had beaten the ever loving fuck out of them by the time I could remember. And when you've beaten all the games that you have available and you got nothing else to do, you go around absorbing all of the available information. So I ended up literally reading every single Encyclopedia Britannica that we had from A to Z. And I also read the entire Bible. And eventually I got so bored that I sat down to this thing called the computer. This thing that my grandmother had gotten for me. And I figured, maybe I could try to do some shit on here. And that's kind of led to where I'm at today. Let me just go into stuff with that attitude of maybe I can do some shit on here. kind of like fucking around and finding out, but in a less negative way. It took me a long time to get into hacking as a result of my mother going to jail and me having seen the movie Hackers, not wanting to do anything illegal. Now I've got permission to hack on a ton of companies with what they call safe harbor, which means that because my research would be done in good faith, you know, I'm seeking to improve things, not out to like exploit. I mean, I am definitely interested in exploitation, but I'm like not, you know what I mean? I'm not a fucking, I got a black hat on. That doesn't mean I'm a black hat. I would advertise as a, I think in order to be a good white hat, you have to be a good black hat. And so doesn't that make you a gray hat? Like by definition? Like are all white hats gray hats? 50 Shades of Gray. You know, white is just pound FFF, FFF, right? And I thought, you know, with my branding and my logo up at the top up here, I particularly like this shade of gray. The top part is pound 666, and the bottom is pound 333. And this has been like my aesthetic, you know, preference for the color scheme since 2013 when I had the idea for the name of the company. Because I was on a trip about like Steve Jobs and Apple, right? And how to get inside the heads of people. And if Dark Mage is Dark Mage, right? And the origin of that name is Dungeons and Dragons. So as you can see, this has led to this. If Dark Mage is Dark Mage, where does Dark Mage live? That was the thought I had. I thought, what is the name of the abode? What is the backstory? What's my equivalent of the laboratory? Back in college, I had this idea for a blog called Zen Gaming Dojo, which was kind of like, I guess, the more lighthearted. And we could still be lighthearted, but I guess the word evil versus the words Zen gaming, one of them hits different. But the idea was that with Zen Gaming Dojo, the premise being how you play games is how you do things in life. Like for the games that like you get really sucked into, the games that you really love, the games that bring you the most joy and most calm and excitement, like the games that you look forward to, the ones that you have to kind of like keep yourself from playing, otherwise they'll take over your whole life. Examine the way that you play those games, and you'll probably find that for the parts of life that you like the most, you're gonna put in the same level of energy and the same kind of like thought processes. People say that games don't have any real world skill crossover, but I disagree. There's a lot that games can do if done right. What is my game going to do? What's the point? What's the purpose? Why are we here? We're here because this is incorrect. That shield needs to be, because I'm facing the bottom left, the shield needs to be animating in the other direction. I need to pull up Ace Right. Hold on. Yeah, if you like streams where I rant and rave and have periodic philosophic insights and clarity into giving one inspiration into grinding it out, because like I said, I've been doing this for fucking, like, I'm 39 now. I'm older than most people streaming on Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, whatever. And I wouldn't be doing it still if I didn't have a vision, if I didn't have an ultimate end goal, something very specific that I was aiming towards. It's very grandiose, I'll give you that. And it has taken 28 years to get to this point. But from my first memory of which my first memory of any memories is playing Super Mario Brothers, the original on the NES in late 1988, early 1989, before I could really speak, before I could really articulate clear thoughts. I had a thought back then. I had two thoughts. Two thoughts that I couldn't put into words at the time, but eventually things came together in that department, right? Those questions were, as I was playing Super Mario Brothers, how do I make things like this? Actually, the first thought was, where did this come from? The answer, Japan. And so thus I began learning Japanese. And the second question was, how do I make things like this? And I didn't know at the time, but that answer became computers. Yeah, like they've even done studies on like Black Ops and first person shooters. There is a correlation between like hand to eye coordination in someone like myself too has kind of got a little bit of an off balance kind of situation as a result of my back. Um, Even as a meditative practice, actually, I think the Dalai Lama came out in favor of video games. Some Buddhist spiritual leader was like very pro video games and saying that it was very equivalent to meditation in a lot of ways. I just think, like, if you were going to give me a choice between watching television for 8 hours a day versus playing games for 8 hours a day, I'm going to pick playing games 100% of the time. And I can expound at length on that one. But the short answer would be that one is more engaging than the other. When I'm watching TV, I mean, unless it's something I really am gripped by, and that's very rare. I'm very so rarely gripped by anything that I have to stop everything else just to pay attention to that thing. Oh yeah, so I'm pulling this up. And I'm adding to OBS. There we go. Wait, where'd I go? There we go. Okay. So A Sprite, right? Like, we looked at this the other day. So like, this is the buckler as it exists um on tile, right? And apparently there's some sort of bug in the animation for this too. And here's the shield as it is supposed to be on the player as it's equipped. Or rather, when you're performing a blocking animation. And the top row animates fine. Or at least fine enough, right? feel like maybe I could tweak or double check the frames, make sure I'm not doing any sort of double increments and shit like that. But the problem is that when the player changes directions, right? You see how there's a correlation here. You got this, and you got this. And actually, the specific blocking animation is this one right here. So what my code does is we read the texture and we create what we call a sprite group. A sprite group is consistent of a number of different sprites. So one sprite would point to one texture. Now, how to determine which frame gets drawn? So the row corresponds to a variable called the context. And then the frame corresponds to which column of the texture. So given the context and the frame, we can pick exactly which of these we want to draw at any given time. And through this, I've been able to make all the animation work. And I even made the player change directions depending upon what the previous direction was. We can figure out which direction we need to make sure that he's pointed in, because my game has up, down, left, right, and then the four corners. The graphics here only account for the four corners. So I have kind of a very context-based switch depending upon, like, for instance, the top right row corresponds to right, and down. The second row corresponds to left, down, and down. Now you notice that means that you can have two different down states. You can have down left and down right. And same thing with the up situation too, which this is a very subtle thing, but it was very important to me because it feels good when you're moving. And the experience of the responsiveness of the UI with regards to the player input and how things change. One of the reasons I like NetHack, one of the reasons I like Dwarf Fortress, has to do with the responsiveness of the game. And so going, into this, that's been a primary goal with all software that I create, is that it must be very fast. Even the 3D is going to end up being pretty fast too. Hold on a sec. All right. So now that we understand what the whole situation is supposed to be like, let's try to dig in and fucking battle this motherfucker. I'm gonna have to get some food here. I'm operating on an empty stomach, just 2 cups of coffee. Okay. $129. Why is the index out of bounds? It's flooding the fucking panel. I'm just gonna be going up forever. Right group 129. Okay, so where are we calling sprite group yet? Uh, oh, it's probably because there's no shadow. That's right. Okay. Mystery solved there. All right, guys. So next, kind of looks correct here. But then here is just not the right direction. Yeah, we actually know the shield direction is updating correctly because we can see it in the debug panel. PS5 stand. The other is oh yeah, it's a couch cover. Do update triggers context sync. Just update um only inventory change. Remains at all direction. After equip point, manually call for shield or set shield entity do update. Lib draw after pickup in lib logic. Wait. No. Oh, hey, Grace. Baby's waking up. I hear you. I'm coming. Ray says, I gotta get something to eat. So how about we take some time off and we get back to this after we recharge. I got all day. But the human body is a miraculous machine that requires input.